This is a look at how I collaborate Revit models into BIM360. We will open an existing model through our local network, local server, local computer, wherever it is that your current model may be saved. This workflow is the same for a new model. You will simply select open a new model if you have not created any content yet. I'll navigate to the model I would like to collaborate to BIM360, select open. I've created a very basic mechanical model that I would like to collaborate to BIM360 in order to share with the rest of the project team. So if I open up BIM360, double checking I am in the correct project, navigating to my mechanical 3D folder location, I see that I already have a mechanical model, but noting it is version 1. This is an indicator that this model has been drag and dropped into the folder or uploaded to the folder. It is manually brought in and not collaborated. If I were to look at another Revit file within the project, I will note it has a version, in this instance version 3, but the key indicator is the timestamp difference between version 1, version 2. I see version 1 was created at 12:16, version 2 at 12:17. Typically, if a model is collaborated correctly to BIM360, you will see the version 1 to version 2 transition time within a minute. We can navigate to another model, looking at the structural model. This is version 3. That means this model has been published 33 times. We will go into publishing models in this video too. If I scroll down to version 1, scrolling down to version 1, I see that Caleb has created the model or collaborated the model at 2:53, and immediately after that at 2:54, version 2 was created. This is an indicator that the model was collaborated successfully. So looking back in our mechanical file folder, we have a HVAC Revit model at version 1. Let's minimize and go to our Revit space. So I have a basic model, I have done some work to, and I would like to now share it. Step 1, always save, just in case the operation is unsuccessful and you may lose some work. So I've said save. I move over to my Collaborate tab, note the Collaborate button, select that. I have two options. I can collaborate within my network or in the cloud. In this instance, we'll collaborate to the cloud. Collaborating within your network creates a shared Revit file within your local network, whether that be on your local servers or what have you. It just simply means you can have multiple drafters in the project working on a single Revit file. In the cloud, multiple Revit drafters working on a single file with external parties having access to that model. We say OK. Again, ensuring we navigate to the correct project. Often we see projects have the same file structure and that may be confusing. We navigate through the file structure to our mechanical discipline folder. We see that the folder is empty, which we know is not the case because there is an HVAC Revit model there. Because this HVAC model is not collaborated, it is not recognized through this workflow. We now have the opportunity to rename our model. So let's say I wanted to add the version of software is Revit 2023. Therefore, in R23, you would have the opportunity to rename your model to suit the project's naming convention if one has been established. I will then say save. As the model saves to the cloud, we'll wait for 2 green ticks. Tick number 1 indicating that the work sharing has been set up successfully. Green tick number 2 indicating that the model has been saved to the cloud, i.e. BIM360 in this instance. If I were to open that up, we can see version 1 has been created within BIM360. We now have our 2 green ticks in Revit. Close that up, reopen my Chrome. If I was to refresh Chrome, I see I have a version 2. This is a great indicator that the collaboration has been successful. Opening that up, I see version 1 was created at 9:25. Version 2 is currently being processed. This is indicated by the blue circle at 9:25. Close that up. With this being a small file, 5.9 megabytes, we should have a BIM360 visualization relatively soon. The bigger the file, the longer the processing time, and therefore the longer it can take for your visualization to come through. So, noting I have a 3D tab and a 2D tab. This is the 3D model that has come through. This is a great place for engineers, project managers, any non-Revit users to come and view the model. You can rotate the model. There's quite a few functions there. Great. If I move over to the 2D tab, you'll note we have no items. We will look at that shortly. Great. So minimizing Chrome, I am now back in my Revit model, and you will note that nothing has changed in the Revit space. Let's say I was to now create some changes to my model. Let's make a few obvious differences. When it comes time to save my updated model, I will go into the top left hand corner and select Synchronize Now. That'll save the model to both the local file as well as the central file. We can see this has been successfully synchronized. Fantastic. The model now lives in BIM360, so it is no longer on my local C drive. There is a version on my local C drive of the model prior to any changes made once it was published to BIM360. Therefore, when it comes time to open the model, you will open the model via your Autodesk Docs, navigating to the correct project, through the file structure to your model. So you'll note I open the model from BIM360 and not from my local server or computer. So now, if I synchronize this model with my changes, the expectation is often that the visualization within BIM360 should have changed to suit. That is not the case. The model needs to be published in order for the visualization to be updated. That's why we see our structural drafter, Caleb, has published this model 33 times, essentially updating all the visualizations. Our model is still on version 2, even though we have synchronized multiple times. So the 3D model is updated in BIM360 in a data context, but not in a visualization context. In order to update the visualization for any persons who are using it, we need to publish our model. We can go to our Collaborate tab, we can go Publish Settings, and this is where we choose which of the 2D and 3D views will be visible in BIM360. We note we have no 2D items, and the only 3D item is our 3D default view. So we have set 1. We can say we would like to publish all the items in set 1. You can create multiple sets of different visualizations for different publishers. So we'll take that 3D view, we will take a couple floor plans, for example's sake, and perhaps a blank sheet. Noting this is a test model, there should not be too much content coming through. Save and close. Close the model, synchronize with Central. This workflow of publishing the model is typically done at the end of your workday or when a model needs to be updated as requested by someone within your team. I can then select the model from my Revit space and select Publish. I see that the model is processing. And then I see the latest has been published. If I move over to BIM360, I can see we have now moved to version 3 of our model at 9:31 this morning. If I was to click on the model to see the 3D visualization, I can see our 3D visualization has been updated. Ducts are shorter, the wall is taller. I can see I have 2D information available. We have the sheet we had selected in our set and a few of the floor plans we had selected in our set. The 3D views is a great space for you to set up multiple 3D views as your team needs. You can have as many 3D views as you like. So that is collaborating a model to BIM360.